Hi everyone, welcome to the Massive Fan Podcast. This is my first ever episode, so I'm going to kind of use this to talk a little bit about myself, introduce myself, say hi to everyone, and talk a little bit about what I'm planning to do with this channel and why it could be interesting to you. And if you vibe with what I'm saying, please do hit a like and subscribe to the channel and to stay in tune for more updates. So my name is Sun and I'm in my 30s. I am an Indian. I am born and raised in India. Though I have lived a little bit all over the world. I used to be in Melbourne for my graduate studies. I lived in the US for some time. My kind of journey with fandom started in my late teens, maybe. I think I started watching anime sometime when I was around 16, 17. Which might be late to start, but I mean, I've always kind of been exposed in some way, shape, or form since I was younger. But the whole concept of being a fan and all of the things that it could entail kind of I became more aware of it in my late teens and in my early 20s. That's when I discovered animes have mangas that you could get into, series that I loved, book series that I loved because I love to read. Book series that I loved had fan fiction you could get into, and that was kind of the beginning of it all. That's how I started. Few things about me, about the things I love. I've already mentioned anime. I'm a huge fan of anime. Some of my favorite series include Naruto. Huge fan of Naruto. I love sports animes as well. So my favorite is actually kind of like a cult favorite because it's not one of the really super popular ones like Haikyuu, though I do love Haikyuu. My favorite sports animes, two of my favorites, both are fairly unknown, I think. One is Ace of Diamond. It's a baseball based anime, and it is, if you haven't checked it out yet, it's brilliant. Highly recommend. 10 on 10. Maybe I'll go into it in my channel at some point, but yes, I love Ace of Diamond. Free is another one. I mean, again, I think there are a lot of fans of Free out there, but it's not usually the series that comes to mind when people talk about sports anime. It's about swimming. All the guys on the show are swimmers, and it really goes into the sport in a way that I had never explored it before. Even though I did used to swim when I was younger, and I have swum competitively very briefly in my life when I was a kid. But yeah, it was love those shows. I've recently, not recently, it's been about 5-6 years that I really started getting into BLs. I started off with Thai BLs actually initially. I think I started with Together was what really got me into it, and then I went and did some exploring. I got into GMM's kind of content at the time. I think it was I watched Sotis, I watched Dark Blue Kiss. I love Dark Blue Kiss, honestly. I was a Tainyu girl for a hot second. There was a certain formula with Thai BLs which wasn't super appealing to me, especially the plot lines around, cheating or misunderstandings about cheating, and it wasn't 100% my thing. So I started exploring other BLs, and yeah, I mean, I read a lot of manga anyway, so yaoi manga was something I was already exposed to. So I realized that a lot of yaoi manga gets turned into BL, and I found a lot of BLs like Amero Paradox or Cherry Magic, which were kind of based on manga, which were really popular as BLs. Oh my God, Given's excellent if you've not watched it. But yeah, so I started exploring a lot more BLs. I've watched a lot of Korean BLs, a lot of Japanese BLs, and I got back into Thai BL recently, and I've been watching a lot of those again as well. And what this channel is about is it's called the Massive Fan Podcast for a reason. That's because I'm a massive fan about a lot of things. You can see in the background, I'm a BTS girl. Army, say hi. I'm a huge Naruto fan. I already said that. I have a picture of Naruto and Sasuke in the background as well. But Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of a lot of things, and I love discourse, right? I know there's a lot of channels out there already that do um, reactions that kind of talk about the before and after of each episode as it comes out. And I love that content. I watch a lot of that content and follow it very closely. Uh, but that since that space is so well covered, I was like, I don't think I really want to get into that space or try to get in there, because I think there are a lot of great content creators already in the space. What I did realize though, as I explored more and more, as I looked for people to talk to about what I was watching and what they were thinking about it. Outside of, say, X or Reddit, there is no real YouTube channels out there that go deep into discourse, right? Into unpacking like a full series. What all were they trying to cover? What were the themes? What were the relationships like between different characters? Why did they end up there? Like, what were the stories that they were trying to tell? What are the like possible reasonings behind the characters' actions? I think most recently I just finished Osan's Love Thailand. I'm a huge Earth Mix girly, and I loved one of the things I loved about the experience of watching the show was, even though like waiting each week for an episode was pretty much torture. But what I loved about it was every week, all the fans would get on X after an episode and like spend the next 24 hours unpacking it, right? What were the themes we noticed? Why were the characters doing this? Why is Mo insecure? Why does Heng never know how to say no? It was so much fun, honestly, and that was a little bit of a trigger for me to want to start this channel, for me to want to start talking about this. It's a purely selfish thing, guys. I'm putting a channel out there that I would want to watch. And I hope that there is an audience out there and you guys would be interested in watching me kind of talk about everything I'm into and what I think about it. So I want to start off my podcast by talking about a series that's very popular that a lot of people have probably watched. And if you haven't watched it, my first episode of about the series will be kind of a synopsis of what the series is about, how it plays out, who the characters are, and what my thoughts on are whether someone should watch it or not. If you want to see that kind of content as well, that will be the first episode of every series recap that I do. That's always going to be the first episode. It'll be kind of like a review without spoilers, right? But outside of that one episode, I will be diving deep into what happened in the series itself, and that means spoilers. So the first series I kind of want to pick up for this is Moonlight Chicken. Moonlight Chicken is a Thai BL series that is really well known for how raw and gritty it is and how real, honestly, it is in terms of the themes, in terms of the characters, in terms of the storylines that they tell. It's a beautiful story. I don't want to go into too much detail about it in this video because there will be a video I will post right after this, hopefully in the same day or within a couple of days, where I will talk about what the series is about, who the characters are, what I thought about it, and why I think you should watch it, where you can watch it as well. Once that's done, then we'll kind of go into individual different relationships that the series explores, my thoughts on those relationships, my thoughts on important things that they kind of weave into the storyline, which I feel like sometimes gets missed in being talked about when you're doing a reaction or doing a thing, because a reaction is very much about an episode by episode, oh, that happened, right? And by the time you are at episode 5 or 6, what's happened in episode 1 is a little less front of mind unless you rewatch everything every week, right? Whereas I feel like once a show is out and it's been out for a while and you've had the chance to watch it once, twice, binge it a few times, you really start noticing things about the show and about what the director was trying to tell in terms of the story in a lot more clarity and with a lot more detail. And that's kind of what I want to explore on this podcast, right? Like really go into each show, talk a lot more about the characters, their motivations, and all of the things that make the story as beautiful as it is, right? So that's about it for this video. I hope you guys stay tuned and hit subscribe if you want to know more about my thoughts on Moonlight Chicken, on Uncle Jim and Hart and Li Ming and One and all of the beloved cast of that series. And if you haven't watched Moonlight Chicken, stay tuned for my next video where I talk about why you should watch the show and why it might be a great watch for you and where you can watch it. So anyway, see you in the next video. I hope you guys all enjoy. This is Sun. See you around.